Attention, stations on the network. Our broadcast will begin in 2 minutes from my mark. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. That was your 2-minute time check, stations. Attention, stations on the network. Our broadcast will begin in 1 minute from my mark. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. That was your 1-minute time check, stations.
On the Hawkeye Sports Network from Learfield. Live from the Watermill Kitchen and Bar inside the Hyatt Regency in Coralville. This is Hawk Talk with Jensen. Presented by Oak Knoll Retirement Community. Also brought to you by 988. There is hope with a 988 Lifeline. Call or text 988 for free, 24/7. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Honda, to see how Honda crushes the competition, see your local Central Midwest Honda dealer. Honda gets the Midwest. Oak Knoll, an active life care community powered by the University of Iowa Energy Collaborative, empowering Hawkeyes to do energy right. University of Iowa Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. U.S. Bank, proud to support Iowa basketball. U.S. Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC. And by Wimmer's Meats, the official hot dog of the Hawkeyes. Here is your host, Rob Brooks.
And the Hawkeyes are home from Cancun. Nice to talk about 8-0, an unblemished record for the month of November. And obviously, we flipped the calendar to December as the Hawkeyes are ranked 17th this week. And tough non-conference games coming up this month, along with the start of Big Ten play as we welcome you to Hawk Talk with Coach Jensen from the Watermill Kitchen and Bar. We're inside the Hyatt Regency here in Coralville, presented by Oak Knoll as usual. And last week we were in your office after the Washington State win. Got that taken care of before you guys headed south, and great to have everybody back out.
It's so great to have our people back.
Haven't seen them for a while, right?
I know. It's really nice to see everybody.
Well, you're back.
We're back.
Which is good.
We're back. We made
it
back
safely.
With 2 victories.
We are.
Better. That's even better. That's even better.
So how was it, Jan, down there? You obviously had a good time, and then obviously 2 victories, which is always the main thing, and get back and get ready to hit the road again this weekend.
It was really a great trip. We had safe travel down without incident. Everything was really great until doggone Lucy caught a really weird, strange fall. But the positive was we got a lot of great minutes with some young kids that they probably wouldn't have got that many minutes. The first game was just really tough sledding, though. We had not seen as much pressure from Rhode Island as they gave us, but it makes sense. It didn't surprise me when you see the the starting point guard is not going to play. And they did press a little bit prior, but they really ratcheted up their pressure. And we did not handle that well. We've been doing such a great job of taking care of the ball, but no one had really pressed us to that extent. And we were freshmen, and it was, I kind of like in a game in Mexico or any island, it's kind of like playing football in the rain. You can be a really great passing team, and all of a sudden the rain hits, and you're playing a subpar team, but everything's now equal, right? And Cancun is just the great equalizer, or the Bahamas. Who handles the sun? Who handles the first time all these freshmen are away from their parents? So I was worried about the Rhode Island game, number one. And then when we lost Lucy, it was a hard-fought battle. It was not pretty, but the end result was.
And that's the thing. You really gutted that one out, 69-62. And the fourth quarter won that one 20-13. And as you mentioned, to do it with maybe your best player says something, because now you've got to thrust some of the other players that have played but into a little bit different role.
Well, what I hope the most happens with that is that they got confidence, because we had to handle a lot. We did not, and I told the team that was on me. I had practiced the press breakers, but we really were practicing it without a lot of intention that people were going to press, because we had not seen that much with Rhode Island or with BYU. So I thought I could buy a little bit at a time. But then when that happened, I didn't have one press breaker as sharp as I should have. So I wanted to make sure that they knew that, we all learned a lot there. But man, we handled it, and we righted the ship. We finished strong, and then I thought we looked. We still turned it over a little bit much against BYU, but we looked a lot more confident in the press.
Won that game against BYU, 68-48, and it was the third quarter there that really spurred you on. Once again, outscored BYU 20-11, so by 9, and then finished it off in the fourth quarter 23-18, and once again had some players that really stepped up. Consistency is what you're obviously looking for. And Eddie O'Grady, 8 out of 9 against Rhode Island with 18 points, 5 boards. Hannah Stalkey had 13 and 4. And then Kylie, great to see her having a big offensive performance. Made a couple of threes, as she did at the beginning of the year, and had 12 points and a couple of assists and 3 boards, and got that bench production again from a point standpoint with 21.
Yeah, I was really, other than the turnovers, and we looked a little frazzled, once we settled in that Rhode Island game, we saw a lot of good things. Our offense was stagnant, but I think they came out and they played a little bit differently than maybe we thought they were going to play. But they righted the ship, as I said, and we got a lot of key minutes from young players, and so it was really, really good to see.
Aaliyah Guyton. Got her on the floor at home against Washington State. I suppose you go down to Cancun playing back-to-back games. Don't know how much she's going to go. And then, boy, did she go. It really helped you out down there,
I tell you
she?
what, the ironic thing, right, is you don't really anticipate playing her very many minutes because, if you think about this kid has not played in 11 and a half months, a real game. And then she goes down and really kind of saves the day, with her, shooting and, for the most part, her ball handling. And she does that not once, but twice. I mean, just think of those of you who are golfers listening. I mean, if you wouldn't golf for 11 months, just to come in and
it's rough.
And oh boy, it is. And she had some things obviously that weren't great. She had a few turnovers here or there, but the way she played and really managed her minutes, and we probably played her a little bit more than I would have liked to, but we sure needed to do so.
And that three-point shooting, and that's sometimes a spark that you really need.
You really
she
do.
Provided it.
I told the players, I said, we've been a little cold in our last couple of games here in this country, and
maybe that's what it took.
Well, that's what I told them. I said, this is
right?
the deal. We need to go down to Cancun and heat up. And we did, thankfully, that the second half of the Rhode Island game, and then really, really was pleased with our three-point shooting in the second game.
And against BYU in the fourth quarter alone, 5 of 7 from 3, 11 of 23 from three-point range. And I think that's certainly a takeaway that you're going to be happy with going forward to, because you know that this is a very capable and good three-point shooting team.
Yeah, that's the thing. I wasn't I was more disappointed for the team than I was frustrated or worried. And I know everybody was probably frustrated and worried watching, but if you're seeing them in practice every day, I mean, it's going down. And we just have to remember that this is a pretty young bunch for the most part. Even the people that are playing the key minutes now, other than Hannah, remember Sid only went into that lineup when, unfortunately, Molly Davis got hurt. So now you have Sid and Kylie and Taylor McCabe. Everybody's playing in really meaningful minutes all the time. And they didn't always get that opportunity last year because we had so many, key cogs that were returners with Gabby and Caitlin and Kate, right? So now they're thrust into really the pressure cooker. And so the game goes a little faster. There's a lot of different pressures when you're not the fourth option. With those guys, you were definitely the third option. Obviously Hannah was a great option, Caitlin, and then Kate, and then it kind of rotated who that third or fourth option was. So those are things I have to remember as they kind of lean into their roles and get used to the fact that this is their team and this is their moment. So I was really happy when the ball really started going in for them in that BYU game.
And we've talked about the defense in the month of November as well. And when you have tough scoring quarters, it's not 25-8 or 30-10. They only have 11 points if you score 6 second quarter against BYU, 9 out of 9. That keeps you in games, and that's so important because there are going to be those waves, aren't there?
Yeah, and I think that's what's been kind of fun about this team is we looked at it and before the season started, and I really thought we could be a little better defensively. Lucy's really good on the ball. You're seeing how good Kylie Feuerbach is. Hannah's a good defender. Addison is really a good rim protector. And Sid's a dog, right? So I thought if we could just make sure that we're shore up our principles and really sell them on the fact that this could be maybe how we can close the gap a little bit with the scoring power juggernaut that we had been. And thankfully, they were excited about that. And, for the most part, the first 8 games, it certainly has, showed well. But this next stretch here we're going to play some really good teams. The competition is going to get real hard, real quick.
You mentioned the rebounding too. Sydney has 19 boards down there.
I know. She picked up where she left off with the rebounding. Since her knee injury, she's been a little bit frustrated that explosiveness and just the feel. It takes a while to get back, but I think that she found it a little bit in that BYU game. And I told her, I said, you got to take the pressure off anything offensively productive wise, because you give us so much on rebounding and leading and defense and just understanding the moment. So she really relaxed more the second half, and I think I'd like to think she found her stroke and found her confidence even more so in that second half.
And you forget, because you've seen her on the floor now for a little bit, but obviously didn't start the season and is still recuperating. And you got to get back to practice and get into that flow once again, just
Absolutely.
like Lucy's going to have to do.
Absolutely. And it's so funny. We've really been challenged on getting that unit, that chemistry going, right? Because Hannah, we really didn't get Hannah back. She didn't play any meaningful reps since the UConn game in the Final Four until the third week of September. And so then she just gets kind of back. And then Sid, we find out, boy, she has to take care of the cleanup of the knee, right? So then she's out. So kind of your 3 cogs, right, that are going to lead this thing, they've never really gotten in sync. So now I'm thinking like, all right, this is going to be great. We're going to go down to Cancun and we're going to get Sid. She's going to get in sync with Hannah and Lucy. We're going to work on things to get us ready to go to New York. And by golly, that knee thing, but thankfully, Dr. Sue Beckwith, who's just a tremendous supporter, former great Hawk, and a renowned former colorectal doc. She was there as a supporter, and the best thing she said to both of us when I was kind of sitting there wondering what the heck was happening, she said, it's just skin. It's just skin. It's not anything worse. And so that's a good thing to remember, right? Because a lot of things can happen. So it was just a weird thing, but we got through it. And I tell you, the whole team, I mean, can I just describe the site for a little bit?
Yes, that was my next question, actually.
You play in these ballrooms, and the court's really great, right? But when this happened, we were in Mexico, right? Well, we also have our doc, Lisa Woodruff, and her husband, who's also doc, is with us. Wisconsin is also in the tournament. So there are Big Ten buddies, but they're on the other side of the bracket because you never play a conference foe. There's 8 teams or more down there. And so this happens, and you can tell right away we're going to need some stitches. And so we need a place, right? So we don't have any table, but Wisconsin has a massage table. So we run one of our trainers, they run, Andrea Chilcote does a great job. They get that massage table, and then all of a sudden, we just set up a little makeshift doctor's
just
office
right there by the practice
we have like a whole
court.
bunch of our managers with cell phones that are turning on the light, right, to make sure we have the lighting right. But I'm telling you, the thing I want to just discuss again is our team's focus. I mean, this is happening like right over there, like 10 feet. And you know she's going to be fine, but it's still weird, right? Your teammate's over there. You're wondering, is she going to play? This doesn't look good. And we have to really focus and get ready for the task at hand. And I tell you, they were champs, and Lucy was the champ. And we were all very thankful that our docs were with us because we didn't want to go to a Mexican emergency room, that's for sure.
And everything's right there at the resort, right? The
it's great.
Practice facility and
Yep.
also where the games are played.
Yep. Yeah, because the practice facility is ballrooms. Mm-hmm. So you have one that's going on, but they do a good job. You're in a ballroom, but there's a lot of bleachers set up, and it feels like a game. The practice part or facility, if you will, that definitely feels like we're just in the Hyatt over here, right? And there's a court, but it's safe and it's really good. It's just a really freak thing how she really landed on just a weird edge of a tile that entered into the hallway from that ballroom.
And she'll be good to go.
I hope so.
Hopefully.
Yeah, she did a little bit today, so I'm hopeful. But it was no joke. I'm telling you that it didn't look good, and she's tough. She's tough as nails. I tell you what.
Yeah, she want to get back out there as soon as possible, right?
Yeah.
Well, we're off and running here with Hawk Talk with Coach Jensen, and don't forget that you can join us right here at the Hyatt Regency at Coralville's Watermill Kitchen and Bar, and watch the show live, as many of you do each and every week. We're offering an extended happy hour, including $1 wings, $3 draft and domestic beers, and $5 house wines. So come on down to the Watermill Kitchen and Bar and join us for a terrific evening of Hawkeye basketball. Oaknall's mission, of course, is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through Life Care, a not-for-profit life plan community serving the Iowa City area for 57 years. Oaknall is conveniently located near the University of Iowa Healthcare Campus, Kinnick Stadium, Carver, and downtown Iowa City. A longtime proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Visit oaknall.com to learn more. And we'd like to hear from you, of course, on Hawk Talk. We've got several ways that you can join us, including the U.S. Cellular text line at 319-853-8344, so 319-853-8344. You can email a question to hawktalk at HawkeyeRadioNetwork.com. That's hawktalk at HawkeyeRadioNetwork.com. Also on Twitter at Iowa-Learfield or hashtag HawkTalk. Facebook.com/HSP Learfield. So if you got all that, get in touch with us and talk a little Hawkeye basketball from the Watermill Kitchen and Bar inside the Hyatt Regency in Coralville. This is Hawk Talk presented by Oaknall from Learfield.
Did you know that UI uses the same amount of energy as all the rest of Iowa City? That's why we have our own power plant, and we're committed to making it clean. By 2025, we'll rely completely on climate-friendly, alternative fuels. Deep in the boiler rooms, engineers from the University of Iowa Energy Collaborative are optimizing the power plant so it can handle these new fuels more efficiently. Learn more about it at uiowaenergycollaborative.com. That's uiowaenergycollaborative.com.
Our mission at Oak Knoll is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, CEO. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served the Iowa City area for 57 years. Oak Knoll is located near University of Iowa hospitals and clinics, Kinnick Stadium, Carver Hawkeye Arena, Hancher Auditorium, and downtown Iowa City. Visit our website at oakknoll.com to learn more. We're a proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Go Hawks!
Hawk fans, stop in and visit the newly renovated guest rooms at Hyatt Regency Coralville Hotel and Conference Center, located in the heart of Iowa River Landing. Stay within walking distance of Extreme Arena, home of the Hawkeye volleyball team, as well as great restaurants, shopping, and scenic walking trails along the Iowa River. Hyatt Regency Coralville is also the home of Hawk Talk with Jan Jensen and Fran McCaffrey. Come together at Hyatt Regency Coralville, where everything you need is right here.
People are having a hard time containing their excitement about the new Holiday Scratch and Instaplay tickets from the Iowa Lottery.
Holiday tickets? I love these!
Especially when they find out you can win part of over $1 million in second chance cash prizes when you enter any holiday ticket in the Iowa Lottery's VIP club.
$1 million? Woohoo!
Yes, woohoo indeed. Cash prizes are coming to town from the Iowa Lottery.
Woohoo!
See rules at ialottery.com/VIP.
I'm Y.A. Black, defensive line, Iowa. On the field, I take on double teams, stop the run, and sack the quarterback.
Sullivan now runs for his life, and he's obliterated by Y.A. Black. Here's the snap, the spot.
Yes,
and it's blocked it. Kick is blocked at the line of scrimmage.
Don't touch the ball.
Hawks get it back. Y.A. Black, that man, what a momentum shift there.
Off the field, I help my body's defense by choosing vaccines that are right for me. Ask your doctor or healthcare provider which vaccines are right for you.
A message from Iowa HHS.
Cancer doesn't care. It doesn't care what you look like, how old you are, what you do, or where you live. We do. University of Iowa Healthcare is doing more to beat cancer than anyone in the state. From second opinions to life-saving treatments that happen here first. We lead the way in research, training, and care because we believe that UI Healthcare is here to make all of Iowa better. UI Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Visit uihealthcare.org.
Welcome back to Hawk Talk with Jan Jensen from the Watermill Kitchen and Bar inside the Hyatt Regency here in Coralville. We'll be right back here again next Monday on the 9th of December, and I think good through the rest of the month, all the way up to Christmas on Monday nights here from 6 until 7. Just putting a wrap on a couple of the games from Cancun. Another thing that stood out to me, Coach, was the amount of time that you led against Rhode Island. Even though it was a 7-point victory, you still led for over 30 minutes, and BYU led for 35-34, which is a trend that we have seen the entire year through the first 8 games.
You know, I wasn't even aware of that. Did I miss that? Where's that stat? Is that on here somewhere?
Right,
and I missed
there.
that right there.
That's a
there
big
it
one.
is. Yeah.
Especially when it says total, right?
Yeah.
You want to make sure you.
I'm just looking at the total. I didn't look at the time.
Understandably,
with the lead.
right?
Yeah. I think it's the Rhode Island game was the closest one we'd had, right? Or maybe it was Drake, where we have.
I think so.
Remember.
No, this probably was, yeah.
So it's been fun to watch how they handle those different situations, and it was that Rhode Island game. The upperclassmen, boy, they were as madder than hops at that halftime. And I think that their expectation level was just so high of like, what are we doing? But they handled it. I was a little bit taken aback because I hadn't seen that. And it wasn't anything saying. You could just see Hannah's eyes were like so frustrated. Like, I don't think she wanted to stop. She just wanted to keep going. She was just wanting to play so much better. And Sid, And I think they came out and they used that frustration in a really positive way. And then when we broke the game open, they dropped their shoulders a little bit. But yeah, I hope that trend continues. I like leading, but the most important thing is as long as we lead at that last second.
That's the most important, obviously. But then that talks about that third quarter, where Hannah, the upperclassmen, not real happy with the way the first two quarters went. But then you outscore them by 9, so that's a good response.
It really was. I really think they have they've responded to every challenge that they've been put in so far. That's what I think is going to be pretty fun this weekend. It's going to be a big stage. I'm glad we had the experience in Charlotte when we played Virginia Tech. This will be similar, but the bright, flashy lights of New York City and playing in Barclays. So I'm hopeful that all the experiences that we've had, where we've had some success, we've led for a lot of minutes, we've been kind of our backs against the wall with the pressure down in Mexico, that it's gonna lead to some pretty great minutes in New York City too.
No doubt about it. We'll talk about the Volunteers a little bit later on, but we'll get to our questions as we've got a couple coming in here on Facebook and also Twitter. Melissa is in New Jersey, and as many fans do, and especially the last several years, she's going to drive 3.5 hours to come to the game on January 1st at Penn State, and certainly can't wait to see that game. Awesome. So that'll be great to have Hawkeye fans at Bryce Jordan Arena on January 1st. Usually not a lot of fans make it out there, so you got those East Coast fans. And talks about how inspired she is that she now plays in a basketball league, and how do you keep the confidence going for each individuals and also a team as a whole. And thanks you for everything, and go Hawks. And that's important. You want to keep individuals confident, but then that entire group needs to feel good as well, don't they?
Yeah, I feel like that's the trick, right? Because people who get the start, they're pretty confident. The people who are in that 8-person rotation, they're feeling like they're going to be called upon. It's hard for the people who don't get in. Their confidence wavers in about every aspect. And so it's a really delicate balance. You have to spend a lot of time trying to get them to see the value of what they do every day in practice. And it's not easy. And this is about the time of year for any team. I don't care, men's, women's basketball. Anytime you get about 8 games into any sport, it begins to settle. And roles are now understood. And you kind of have to break through another layer of, another step of your culture journey. Because in the summer, everybody's vying for everything. And then leading into the fall, and then when you kind of start your exhibition game, there's a lot of minutes still up for grabs. But when you get to this point, it's a little bit more clear what that's going to look like. So, just try to make sure that they really all know everybody from the key Lucy Olson on down to any kid that doesn't get a lot of minutes. So, it's hard. They have to do their part. They have to accept it, and they have to keep pushing, and that's a delicate balance. But then when you get through that, these guys, our team is just filled with extremely wonderful young women, and they really are selfless. So they are at the end of the day, after they kind of, understand kind of what the mission is, it's really great to coach them. And then you just, I just try to coach them like it's life, man. Some days are good, some days are bad, sometimes it's your turn, sometimes it's not your turn. But collectively, if we're all pulling and we're all, rowing in the same direction, and we keep a pretty confident and forward-thinking mindset, more often than not, good things are going to happen. So I don't really have any magical words other than just kind of do what you do and enjoy how you're doing it.
Well, as you're talking about that, made me think of Sydney last year. Mm-hmm. She was ready.
Oh, yeah.
When her time came, due to injury. Mm-hmm. But boy, did she fill that role. And that's the point you have to make, too, is, hey, you never know when your minutes could increase, something could happen, somebody gets ill, injury. You step in there, what are you going to do with it?
Yep. And I think that's what was a I think the beauty of the last couple of years is we were one of the few teams that had kids that had kind of stuck it out and been together. And Sid was just a beautiful story because in the portal and everything that happens in that crazy world, when you get a team that for the most part sticks with it and then they get their shot, it's just a beautiful thing because, again, that goes back to life. I mean, I think that's what I dislike about the portal the most is it's just so easy. It's so easy to transfer now. It's so easy to go because you get to play right away and it's going to be better over there. And yes and no, it may be better. Even if it is better, the lesson of kind of sticking with it and, kind of paying your dues and learning the ropes, boy, that portal takes away a lot of those lessons. So going back to Sid, I've never been, I guess never, I've been doing it a long time now. I can't remember being as happy, for someone that had really, really paid her dues and was more than ready. And she was just such a big difference for us in that whole run last year.
Yeah, big time. At that Big Ten tournament, you'll certainly never forget that. And you're right, it's not usually just one school. It's sometimes two or three.
Absolutely.
Audrey checks in on Twitter, wants to let you know that brings so much joy to others, and this team has just been a joy to watch and listen to, and had a tough few years, but always counted on the team to lift her up, and also says that you're the best, and wants to know if you... Yeah, well, we all agree with that, right? Yeah.
She obviously doesn't maybe know me personally since it's Twitter, I'll take it.
She's right, though. And then wants to know what the funniest Caitlin or Kate story that you have, which this might bleed into the next show if that's the case, right?
I tell you. Well, first off, Audrey, I appreciate your kind words, and I think that's probably the highest compliment that you could give our team. And Lisa Buter would say the same thing. Is I think we just understand that we get to play a game that we love, we get to work with people we love, and we get to play in front of some incredible fans. And when we can bring joy to a tougher situation, I think that's my favorite part of my job. I think the platform that we get is cool, And I'm choking up because our little, I was thinking, those of you who follow us, our little Christy, our kid captain, her celebration of life was today. And I just thought about, man, how great that our team got to be part of that. Christy always thanked us so much for that, but boy, the joy that she brought us, and that so many of the fans out here that you bring us, that's what's fun about this program is we get to come to Carver and you guys sold it out again. I mean, that whole joy thing works both ways. So Audrey, I want you to know that. But the funniest Kate and Caitlin story, my goodness. I don't know if I can't think right on the spot, but what I do think is one I can kind of remember wasn't funny, but it was more joyous, is last year when we beat West Virginia in that close game, right, to get out of here and, make the Sweet 16. It was unfortunate, the coach from West Virginia, he had said that just something about we wanted to send us packing. And, of course, Caitlin didn't take kindly to that, right? So she was like, well, we're not packing because, A, we're home, so we're not going to be packing, right? So she was kind of funny about that. But it was a tough game, and we had all the respect in the world, and they're still really highly ranked right now. But when we won, when we came down to practice the next day, Caitlin is standing on the score table, and Kate is jamming Country Roads, take me home, West Virginia.
John Denver,
and so
right?
They are just screaming, and the whole team is serenading our whole staff as we're walking in. And that's the fun about Caitlin and Kate. Like when you're, older, when you can kind of hijack the beginning of a practice, right? And they knew that was a pretty good day. But it's just kind of those kind of things, Audrey. They always just had a little glisten in their eye. But I can't think of any hilarious things right off the bat. It was a lot of that stuff.
Caitlin wouldn't miss that moment, would she?
No, not at all.
She'd run with that for a few
days. Absolutely.
And it's great to see them back as much
so
as
great.
they can, too,
They really
year.
are. I'm telling you, they're I mean, Caitlin texted me after the Rhode Island game, and just was happy. She's like, hey, it doesn't have to be pretty, it's a win. But I mean, that's, who knows where that kid is in the world. But but for her to, keep
someplace
checking in.
Good.
And Megan Gustafson is in France right now, and she texted me. I mean, like, all these Hawks are just really, really pretty special, and they're still a part of us.
That's what makes it so special when your former players and stars that are busy, got things going on, are still following the Hawks. And throughout the Iowa Corn Cy-Hawk series, which will be resuming here in a couple of weeks, Iowa Corn promotes values that are uniquely Iowan. On behalf of Iowa's corn farmers, we salute all athletes for their hard work and determination both on and off the field, just like our athletes. Our state leads the nation in corn and ethanol production. Follow Iowa Corn on Facebook to learn how corn grows Iowa. From the Water Mill Kitchen and Bar inside the Hyatt Regency in Coralville, this is Hawk Talk, presented by Oaknall from Learfield.
Hey, Hawkeyes, while you're hard at work in class or on the court, there's a team behind the scenes making sure that the power keeps going, the water keeps flowing, and the temps inside are just right. Introducing the University of Iowa Energy Collaborative. The collaborative is a public-private partnership between UI, NG, and Meridium. It delivers the funds UI needs to drive our academic and research excellence while optimizing campus utilities for a generation to come. Check it out at uiowaenergycollaborative.com.
Cancer doesn't care. It doesn't care what you look like, how old you are, what you do, or where you live. We do. University of Iowa Healthcare is doing more to beat cancer than anyone in the state. From second opinions to life-saving treatments that happen here first. We lead the way in research, training, and care. We believe that UI Healthcare is here to make all of Iowa better. UI Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Visit uihealthcare.org.
If you or someone you know is having thoughts of suicide, experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis, or just needs someone to listen, 988 provides a direct connection to free, confidential, and compassionate support. When you call, text, or chat 988, you'll be quickly connected to trained crisis counselors who will listen to your concerns, provide support, and connect you to additional resources if needed. There is hope. You are not alone. For 24/7 support, call or text 988 or chat 988lifeline.org.
At U.S. Cellular, we believe in having healthy relationships with our phones so we can have better relationships with each other. Introducing US Mode, a way to set your phone for less distraction and deeper connection. So dinner can sound less like this and more like this.
What'd you learn today?
The sauropod was the tallest dinosaur ever.
Oh my goodness.
Visit U.S. Cellular in-store or online, and we'll help set your phone to US Mode, even if you're not a customer. U.S. Cellular, the 5G network built for us. See uscellular.com for details.
Our mission at Oaknall is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, CEO. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served the Iowa City area for 57 years. Oaknall is located near University of Iowa hospitals and clinics, Kinnick Stadium, Carver Hawkeye Arena, Hancher Auditorium, and downtown Iowa City. Visit our website at oaknall.com to learn more. We're a proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Go Hawks!
Time now for the Wellmark Blue Cross and Blue Shield Health Coverage Report. When you enroll in a Wellmark individual or family health plan, you get an HMO network that includes over 32,000 providers. Plus, you get support from a company that's been serving Iowans for 85 years. Now, those are some impressive numbers, and that's health coverage you can feel confident in. Find the right plan for you at wellmark.com/covered. Enrollment ends January 15th.
Welcome back to Hawk Talk with Coach Jensen, our first show here from the Hyatt, second of the year. Join us next week on the 9th of December. We'll be here 6 until 7 and all throughout the rest of December leading up to Christmas. The Hawkeyes, of course, are bowl eligible with 8 victories, and you can sign up at hawkeyesports.com/Bowl Central to get game tickets, travel, hotel information, and soon as the bowl is announced, which will be on Sunday once all the conference championship games have concluded on Saturday. And it's presented by Travel Leaders Destinations Unlimited, Iowa's official bowl tour. Let's head back to Twitter. Mike checking in. typical high school players, Mike says, come into college, obviously very offensive-minded. How do you get time for them to buy in on the defensive end, other than the fact they probably won't play as much if they don't play? You got to play both ends of the floor, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a little bit of truth to that, Mike. They know they have to, play both. But I feel like, if you get everybody buying into it, and we have some different goals on defense, and, everybody that plays, we're pretty much goal-oriented, and we're competitive. And so we have some different things we've implemented this year that makes it kind of fun as a team-wise to get these goals. So I think you just kind of have to sell it. And if they see us as excited about it, they know it's important to us. And if they're a smart player, they're going to make it important to them.
You're exactly right. And how much of it is many players, obviously if you're an outstanding offensive player, which if you play at this level you are in high school, is just the want and the will. Most of them are very good athletes and certainly capable.
I mean, I'm a big proponent of the want. I mean, you can a lot of times face a team that might be a little bit more superior than you, but if you just you can outwill them sometimes, right? Not all the times, but there's that old thing, hard work can beat talent when talent doesn't work hard. And I just think, the harder you work, you put yourself in a pretty good position. So usually I think, I got to take pride in that in all Iowa sports, from football to basketball to field hockey. I think we recruit every coach here recruits a lot of hard-nosed, hard-working kids that kind of roll up their sleeves and they get the job done. And I think that's kind of indicative of, playing defense. You don't always have to be fastest, and maybe you're a little slow of foot, but if you got a little kick in your step and are working hard, you can offset some of the things that maybe you're not as naturally gifted at.
And you could throw rebounding in that category as well.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing with rebounding. Offensive rebounding is definitely want. Definitely, like, if you just, you're going to have a little bit of a talent like a Dennis Rodman for you basketball fans who play with Michael Jordan. Or Kasheen Alexander, give her a shout out. She was a great guard for us years ago. Great rebounding guard. But they're just the will. Like if your teammate, if you know the play, right? Let's say you're running a thumbs up and you know that McCabe is going to get the ball in the corner and she's going to launch. Well, before she even launches, you just know you're going to go like crazy and you're going to try to block out the defender, right? And the kids who want it, they figure that out really, really quick. And I think a lot of rebounding is fun when you see a kid that maybe is a little shorter or maybe not quite as strong as some other kids. It's pretty fun to watch them get the rebound.
And if somebody wants to average close to 20 points or 16 points, what do you got to do? Sometimes you got to go get a couple extra buckets for yourself, which is offensive rebounding. Get yourself to the free throw line and, of course, knock them down.
Absolutely. And I think you see a lot of that type of kid or type of player in Taylor Strimlow. Strimlow is one of those kids that she just works. Boy, if you came to practice, it's just fun to watch her work. She's just always scrapping and trying to get a rebound and, trying to, get a move that's going to take her to the line. And that type of thing, when you have that, a Kate Martin, a Sid Alfolter, a Taylor Strimlow, it becomes contagious.
You got to just see it on her face, see it in her eyes, just her will at both ends of the floor.
Well, the thing is, like Taylor, she is not a point guard. She's not a point guard. She is a small forward. And so she had a tough game when we started her against Rhode Island, and she felt so badly after the game. But I was like, look, you're playing way out of position, but you're the one that has guts. You're the one I can see in your eyes that you're our best shot to, back up Lucy. And so we gave her the start against BYU, and she really held her own because Guyton can't play all the minutes yet. Even now, I think we, loaded her up a little bit. We're going to have to slow it down. But just the will of those kind of kids, it's so fun because if I told Taylor Strimlow, like, oh, you're going to have to play the center against Tennessee, she's like, all right. And that's it. She'd say, all right. There'd be no, are you sure? How big are they? She'd be like, all right, let's go. Those kind of kids are, they're a dream.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. She's going to be a lot of fun to watch for sure. Let's get back to the text line. Lacey is checking in from Illinois. Congratulations, Coach, on a perfect 8-0 start. Now with the UCLA, USC, Oregon, and Washington, now in the Big Ten. Do you think anything will be different about style of play or the really difficult conference schedule? And you just have to go play.
Right.
We know they're really good teams.
They are, absolutely.
And we talked last week a little bit about the last two expansions in the Big Ten. Has not done women's basketball coaches any favors, right?
No, every time we've expanded, if you did a little survey, it's women's basketball that really, it just totally which is great, but it's crazy. I remember when Nebraska came into the league. They were in the Big 8 at the time. And we were number one, and then doggone it, they came in at that time. Then Maryland came into the league, right?
And Rutgers was really good at the time.
Rutgers was good. And I know I wasn't here yet, but I know Penn State was really good. I say that tongue-in-cheek because I'd rather have it that way than you're adding a bunch of, poor sisters that drag your conference RPI down. But we're going to learn a lot. The Pac-12, old Pac-12, they played a little bit differently than the Big Ten did. So it's going to be interesting to see how, who kind of wins, what style when we, go up against each other. But obviously UCLA and USC, I mean, they're both in the, number one right now is UCLA, and I think USC is still in the top 5 or certainly the top 10. And they have, some marquee players. So it's going to be pretty fun. This year they start out in Carver. So we'll get to see those teams, and we'll go on the road to play at Oregon and Washington. So I'm as excited as you are, Lacey, to see kind of how is it going to shake down.
Yeah, it will be a lot of fun, Lacey. Appreciate your comments very much. And undefeated teams in the Big Ten right now: Michigan State, Penn State, Minnesota, UCLA, Maryland, and Ohio State, and Iowa. And what UCLA did to South Carolina, boy, that was not that they won the game, but by that margin.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I tell you what, their 6'7" center, some of you may know, but she was a high school teammate of Addie O'Grady. And so we started out recruiting both of them. And so Addie is a pretty nice passer, but Addie played at the elbow and she fed the 6'7". So Addie's passing, she, worked on that. But they've done a really good job developing Lauren Betts. And 6'7", and we saw last year against South Carolina with Cardosa. When they turn the corner, those taller players, extremely taller players, I mean, there's really not much you can do, guys. I don't care. I don't care how much of a guru you are. 6'7", and you might be 6'4" or 6'5", but that is just amazing height difference, 3 inches, right? And Lauren Betts is looking extremely good on the, I watched a little bit. I haven't broken him down yet. But then they have Kiki Rice as an incredible guard, and then they have a whole other cast of characters. So, it's kind of like when Cardosa graduated from South Carolina. Then I don't think they knew probably really what to do when they faced another size, right? So I didn't see that game. But I do know that Corey Close at UCLA is a really good coach, and she obviously had him ready to rock and roll.
And we saw him up at Albany last year.
We sure did.
Game before.
And they were just
LSU,
a hair short.
Right,
yep.
But looked very, very good, and a terrific addition to the Big Ten. And talk about the travel situation, too. It's going to be tough on everybody, but really tough on those West Coast teams having to come over here several times during the conference season.
I've never been so happy I'm in the Central Standard Time.
It's kind of nice, right? My
goodness. I mean, that's a normal, we're kind of used to going to Maryland, but now when we go to the West Coast, it's more doable. But boy, I mean, that's going to be, a long haul when you're going all the way to College Park or going all the way to Happy Valley.
It's only 3 time zones.
Yeah. Only three.
It's not a big deal.
I may or may not
did it a couple of weeks ago.
In recruiting wars.
As a proud sponsor of the Hawkeyes, U.S. Sailor wants you to make the most of today by choosing game day traditions first and scrolling later. U.S. Sailor is built for us. Also, the University of Iowa Healthcare is here for you. No matter where you are in the state, changing medicine and changing lives for all of Iowa and beyond. Visit uihealthcare.org. Of course, Iowa and Tennessee from the Barclays Center in New Jersey, and they're in New York and Brooklyn, right, actually, where the New York Nets actually play. Yep. So we'll be heading out there later on this week. That is a 6 o'clock start on Saturday. The Volunteers and the Hawkeyes. And I know that Lisa, when we were talking, she's never faced Tennessee. So it's been a long time.
Yeah, we've never matched up, so that'll be fun. That's a storied program. And then Barclays, the Nets play there, but also the world champion WNBA New York Liberty women play there. So that'll be really, really fun to see that environment. And yeah, these new kind of showcases that they're doing. I just feel so, blessed that we got to play for the second year against Virginia Tech and Charlotte, because they do a great job down there. And we're all excited to kind of see what it's going to be like in Brooklyn. So we're pretty pumped up to go, but I'm ready. I definitely want 3 more days of practice before we face Tennessee.
Tennessee 5-0, and we'll talk about that game when we come back. This is Hawk Talk presented by Oaknall from Learfield.
Did you know that UI ranks near the top of the EPA's Green Power Leaderboard with 84% of our energy coming from renewable sources? Now you can be a part of the team that makes it happen. The University of Iowa Energy Collaborative, with our partner, NG Iowa, is offering full-time positions in utility operations for our campus and hospital water, heating, steam, and distribution systems. Check out the jobs and apply at uiowaenergycollaborative.com.
Our mission at Oaknall is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, CEO. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served the Iowa City area for 57 years. Oaknall is located near University of Iowa hospitals and clinics, Kinnick Stadium, Carver Hawkeye Arena, Hancher Auditorium, and downtown Iowa City. Visit our website at oaknall.com to learn more. We're a proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Go Hawks!
Hawk fans, stop in and visit the newly renovated guest rooms at Hyatt Regency Coralville Hotel and Conference Center, located in the heart of Iowa River Landing. Stay within walking distance of Extreme Arena, home of the Hawkeye volleyball team, as well as great restaurants, shopping, and scenic walking trails along the Iowa River. Hyatt Regency Coralville is also the home of Hawk Talk with Jan Jensen and Fran McCaffrey. Come together at Hyatt Regency Coralville, where everything you need is right here.
Time now for the Wellmark Blue Cross and Blue Shield Health Coverage Report. When you enroll in a Wellmark individual or family health plan, you get an HMO network that includes over 32,000 providers. Plus, you get support from a company that's been serving Iowans for 85 years. Now, those are some impressive numbers, and that's health coverage you can feel confident in. Find the right plan for you at wellmark.com/covered. Enrollment ends January 15th.
Quinn Schulte, I play safety here at the University of Iowa. On the field, I stop the run, I make the tackle, and I get interceptions.
Rosmer to throw, has time. Yes, it's deflected, intercepted again by Quinn Schulte. He's running the other way at the 40-yard line. Hawks have another turnover. We're going to slam the lid, hopefully, down. Here's an interception. That'll do it. And it's Quinn Schulte. And down there, the Hawkeyes will have first and goal.
Off the field, I help my body's defense by choosing vaccines that are right for me. Ask your doctor or healthcare provider which vaccines are right for you.
A message from Iowa HHS.
Not all internet is created equal. It's a lot like choosing a quarterback. Technically, you could sign up any new rookie provider on the block, but the success of every device in your home depends on it. Will they perform in the clutch, or will they buffer under pressure? Extreme provides the speed you need with a 100% gigabit technology network and amplified Wi-Fi. And unlike signing a quarterback, Extreme Internet requires no contracts. There's only one pick to lead your team. It's Extreme, powered by Mediacom.
Final moments of Hawk Talk with Coach Jensen, our first show here from the Watermill Kitchen and Bar inside the Hyatt Regency. And, of course, Tennessee coming up on a Saturday night from the Barclays Center. 5-0, really have not been tested as of yet. Middle Tennessee has probably been the closest, along with Liberty, as the Volunteers defeated Middle Tennessee 89-75, Liberty 109-93. Play Florida State on Wednesday, so they actually have a midweek game before Saturday's contest. And One thing is, when you look at the scores and their stats, they can score, averaging almost 100 points a game, and haven't left the city of Knoxville yet.
Nope. No, and that's the one thing that I hope will be to our benefit, right? That we have left. We've gone to another country left. We've played
big arenas.
Yeah, and we played in a tough environment. When we went to Charlotte, that was pretty neutral, right? They might have had a few more fans, but it was more neutral. We go to South Dakota, man, the Hawk fans were awesome there. That was not neutral. That was all us. But we went to Drake, and that was definitely a raucous pro-Drake environment. So we've gotten some experience with, being on the road legitimately. So I think we're going to have to use that. It's what matters. You get this amazing confidence rocking people in your home floor, and then that next game you're just still soaring high. Or do we have the edge because we've kind of been all over, we've been tested a little bit more, and then we meet and now we're more steady. So that's always, you got to sell it to your team. And everybody tries, but until you're there and until the lights come on, you really don't know what's going to win out. They are just extremely different than anybody that when you watch the game that you've seen for a while. They platoon sub, typically 5 for 5. They full court press all the time, make or misses. They throw a multitude of presses at you. It's a 1-2-2. It's a 2-2-1. It's a player to player. It makes no sense sometimes. You're all of a sudden there's 3 people on the ball. They just create chaos. So we've not seen that. You cannot replicate that with your men's practice squad. So you just have to go to your principles. You have to just really stay steady, and you have to really lean into the moment. So it's going to be a heck of a game, and it's all going to come down to handling the press. If we handle the press, I like my chances. If we don't handle the press, then hold on.
You still like your chances, right?
I still like my chances, but I'm telling you, they're big.
This might be a little tougher.
I think their shortest player is 5'10". That's their shortest player. So we're going to have our work cut out for us, but I do like my chances, and I love my team.
Yep, me too. Jan, thanks so much for being here tonight.
Thank you for listening.
We'll see you a little bit later on the week.
That sounds great. God bless and
go
Hawks.
Get to those 3 practices in,
right? That's right. And a special hi to my friends and family in Southwest Iowa.
As always, and don't forget that you can stay tuned for Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffrey. This week's guest is Drew Thelwell, off to a great start, and he'll be the special guest right here at the Hyatt Regency.
When you live in the Midwest, you're accustomed to leading the nation in certain things, from corn and pork production to eggs and soybeans. And now we're adding another product to that list: clean, renewable wind energy. By investing in wind turbines and partnering with area farmers and landowners, MidAmerican Energy is harvesting wind power that's homegrown right in our very own backyard, which not only provides customers with low, stable energy rates, but also the support to make our Midwest communities safer and stronger.
You might think Iowa grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. Corn can even fuel your drive to watch the Hawkeyes play when you choose Unleaded 88. It's a fuel that's cheaper, cleaner, and greener. Plus, it's homegrown, making Unleaded 88 the clear choice at the pump and totally worth the hype. So as you head to cheer on the Hawkeyes this season, don't just fuel up. Pump it up with Unleaded 88. Find Unleaded 88 at a station near you. Go to iowacorn.org/88.
People are having a hard time containing their excitement about the new Holiday Scratch and Instaplay tickets from the Iowa Lottery.
Holiday tickets? I love these!
Especially when they find out you can win part of over $1 million in second chance cash prizes when you enter any holiday ticket in the Iowa Lottery's VIP club.
$1 million? Woohoo!
Yes, woohoo indeed. Cash prizes are coming to town from the Iowa Lottery.
Woohoo!
See rules at ialottery.com/VIP.
Not all internet is created equal. It's a lot like choosing a quarterback. Technically, you could sign up any new rookie provider on the block, but the success of every device in your home depends on it. Will they perform in the clutch, or will they buffer under pressure? Extreme provides the speed you need with a 100% gigabit technology network and amplified Wi-Fi. And unlike signing a quarterback, Extreme Internet requires no contracts. There's only one pick to lead your team. It's Extreme, powered by Mediacom.
If you or someone you know is having thoughts of suicide, experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis, or just need someone to listen, 988 provides a direct connection to free, confidential, and compassionate support. When you call, text, or chat 988, you'll be quickly connected to trained crisis counselors who will listen to your concerns, provide support, and connect you to additional resources if needed. There is hope. You are not alone. For 24/7 support, call or text 988 or chat 988lifeline.org.
Our mission at Oak Knoll is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, CEO. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served the Iowa City area for 57 years. Oak Knoll is located near University of Iowa hospitals and clinics, Kinnick Stadium, Carver Hawkeye Arena, Hancher Auditorium, and downtown Iowa City. Visit our website at oakknoll.com to learn more. We're a proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Go Hawks!
Live from the Watermill Kitchen and Bar inside the Hyatt Regency in Coralville, this has been Hawk Talk with Jan Jensen, presented by Oak Knoll Retirement Community. Also brought to you by 988. There is hope with a 988 lifeline. Call or text 988 for free, 24/7. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Honda. To see how Honda crushes the competition, see your Central Midwest Honda dealer. Honda gets the Midwest. Powered by the University of Iowa Energy Collaborative, empowering Hawkeyes to do energy right. Oak Knoll, an active life care community. University of Iowa Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. U.S. Bank, proud to support Iowa basketball. U.S. Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC. And by Wimmer's Meats, the official hot dog of the Hawkeyes. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the Hawkeye Sports Network.